Throwing back the years to a time a lot of us will remember fondly, 2008. A year where we got our first MCU film with Iron Man, Barack Obama became president of the US, Apple brought out the iPhone 3G, and Duffy released her hit single Mercy. Yeah, the Welsh soul singer who came out of nowhere, or more specifically Wales, to become a huge hit in the music industry. She came around at a very similar time to Adele, and most likely would have probably have followed a very similar career path had she have continued her adventures. There very well may have been a world in which we got to see a Duffy Bond theme instead of obviously the Adele one, Skyfall. Yeah, it was Skyfall. She was often compared to the late great Amy Winehouse as well. And I mean, once you've hit that stage, it doesn't really get much better. But what happened? Duffy vanished just as things really began to ramp up in her career. And when I say vanished, I mean evaporated, quicker than a line of smack off of Charlie Sheen's coffee table. It was just like that, she was gone. So with that being said, today I'm going to be looking into why exactly that was. And stay tuned for this one, as it does have an incredibly wild turn that I really did not expect. So, born Amy Ann Duffy, her story is basically the musical version of a lottery win. She was discovered after appearing on a Welsh talent show called Woof Factor. I think I'm saying that right. I mean, it sounds like something that your dog would be interested in, or your mum. But it led to her being signed. You know, good for her. And things moved unbelievably quickly for her as well. In 2008, she dropped Rock Ferry, which was her debut album that, of course, featured the hit song Mercy. And it didn't just sell, it obliterated the charts. It was the best-selling album in the UK that year. She was winning Grammys and Brit Awards faster than OnlyFans' daughter could lose their father to a milk run. It was insane. And she was doing really, really well, to be fair to her, and things were looking up. And she was everywhere. She did this Diet Coke advert, and I remember this from when I was much younger. She would ride like a bicycle through a supermarket while singing, which is the pinnacle of all that is fame, fortune, and overall achievement, really, if you think about it. But with all of this now detailed, it only adds more confusion to her disappearance. Why leave? What exactly was it? Well, after the massive success of Rock Ferry, the pressure was on for the difficult second album. In 2010, she released her album called Endlessly. Now, most people describe the album as a flop, but apparently it's a bit harsh. It's still sold better than most of us could ever dream of, but compared to the juggernaut of a debut, it was a bit like following up a 5-star meal with a Rustler's burger. The critics were a bit mean, basically, and that's no shock, of course, but the sales were also down and the industry started to look for the next shiny thing, as it always does. Once it's done with you, it spits you out and it moves on to the next thing. She did a film, though, called Patagonia in 2010.
We've got sausage, egg, bacon, and double portions of £6, so got a few things in.
¿Qué dice? No tengo idea.
¿Habla español?
Wow. Te conozco. ¿Cómo estás?
And she showed up at a few events around this time, and then by 2011, that was it. She effectively vanished from the face of the earth. And at first, people theorised that perhaps it was the pressure that got to Duffy in the end. The weight, of course, of following up that amazing debut album, for a lot of people, you know, it'd be too much. People just thought that she was a mere girl from a Welsh town in the UK and couldn't live up to all the glitz and glamour that came with being a musician.
Where do you think you might be in 5 years' time?
Where will I be? That's a really good question. Probably in Wales.
Nice.
Retired, having bought a dog.
Yeah.
Or something.
And so naturally, she just stepped away from it all. For almost 10 years, there was practically nothing. There was no Instagram updates. There was no leaked demos, no paparazzi shots of her having a cheeky smoke outside her house, smashing up a stop sign with her face,
Kanye, you okay?
or, you know, just buying milk or whatever. The only thing that people seen of Duffy was a tiny role in the film Legend in 2015. She played like a lounge singer. But there was no comeback, no big interview explaining where she'd been, just a ghost in the industry who used to sell millions of records. While Adele was becoming a global success, Duffy was just a memory of 2008. But the truth to all of this is more shocking than you could imagine. Now, I think this is probably a good point where I'll just put a bit of a disclaimer in there. Some of the details I'm about to go through are going to be a bit distressing for some of you, so just keep that in mind. But without further ado, in February 2020, the silence was broken in the most harrowing way possible. Duffy posted a long, incredibly raw statement on Instagram. She explained that the reason for her disappearance wasn't because of a bad album or the loss of interest or anything like that. She revealed that she had been drugged on her birthday in a restaurant, kidnapped and held captive for several weeks, up to 4 weeks, I think that she was saying. And she explained all of these awful things, that she had been essayed, she'd been taken to a foreign country. She spent years in hiding after the ordeal. She was terrified that the person responsible would find her again, which is, it's horrific, isn't it? She said she couldn't sing because the soul doesn't sing when the heart is broken, which is just devastating. Some of the details, as I'm sure you can suspect, are really dark, very disturbing and just tragic, really. You can find Duffy's full statement on it all if you search Duffy's words. I think it's a website and it's got a full 7-page post about it all if you wanted to read it through. And it was a moment that made everyone in the industry look like an absolute arse, forever making fun of her second album sale figures or whatever else people tried to theorise about her disappearance. And it was a sobering reminder that behind the pop star image, there are real people dealing with horrors that we couldn't even begin to imagine. After coming forward with her story, she didn't jump back into the scene, as I'm sure you could have guessed. Duffy in the post even says herself, "And so what about music from here, maybe you ask? When I sing I feel like a bird, but it's not what this is directly about. I'm doing this to be free, from all of me to be freed. So what follows remains to be seen." And since this post, she has in fact shed a few new songs. On her website, Instagram, there was a song called River in the Ocean. So, in closing, from having the world at her feet to surviving a literal nightmare and, you know, still coming out of the other side, Duffy has experienced nothing short of tragedy and horror. And when you consider that, all of a sudden, the question of whether we will see her sing again or not isn't as important over the question of whether she's okay. And ultimately just coping all right with her horrific past. Whether she ever releases another album or not, it doesn't really matter. She's already done enough. She gave us some of the best songs of the noughties and showed a level of bravery that most of the music industry in any era couldn't ever touch. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Ta-ra.